Okay, Goju Nation, we're back. Luigi, Goju Nation, how are we? Are we recognizing our changes in culture that are happening, excuse me, right in front of our eyes? Job markets, finance, relationship dynamics, family structure, etc. Because every century, within the first 25 years, there is a major paradigm shift that pretty much shapes the rest of that century. In the 20th century, at the beginning, we had transportation and flight. That was our complete paradigm shift. We went from horse and buggies and trains to cars and airplanes. And in this century, it is technology, which is driven, of course, by our current AI revolution, artificial intelligence, for those that are not paying attention. Anyway, this is industry rule number 4080. Luigi, let's go.
Industry rule number 4080. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady.
Welcome, Goju Nation. As always, you are appreciated and respected. You're in the right place to get the qualified, verified, and certified. And as always, Goju Nation, tap in. Facebook, the Gram, X, Threads, YouTube, at GothamJungle. One word, at GothamJungle. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe to become an official part of Goju Nation. And don't forget to add your emails, because as we start the next season, we want you to be able to receive our GothamJungle newsletter. So you can see all things GothamJungle. I'm fighting a little cough here, Goju Nation, so work with me. Where are we at now, Luigi? Season 3, episode 13. And although we're closing out this year in a minute, I want to start something that needs to happen. This is necessary. It's a series I want y'all all and you, Luigi, to absorb. I want you to embrace it. Because as much as we're paying attention, I'm not sure how much we're really paying attention. It's kind of like those who know care to know. We're going to talk about the societal impact of AI. And there's going to be a few of these, all right? And what I'm doing is I'm doing a deep dive into specific industries and dissecting the AI impact. And of course, you're going to get the qualified, verified, and certified. And we're going to start with AI and its impact society-wise. Societal? All right, fix me on that one, Goju Nation, however I said properly, okay? The societal impact of artificial intelligence on education. That sounds a lot better. How's that? All right. So grab your backpack, or better yet, based upon AI, drop it, okay? Because we're stepping out of the classroom and straight into the cloud. Because in 2025, school ain't about bells and books. It's about bandwidth and bots. Stick with me now. Stick with me. We're taking education and putting it on trial. The institution versus the algorithm. The curriculum versus the culture. The hood versus the hardware and the prompts. Let's take a look at the here and now. I want you guys to really understand like what's happening right now as far as AI goes and what's happening in the next 12 to 36 months. Because the student today, watch this, Luigi. The student today could be on a Zoom call class, fall asleep, and have ChatGPT in the background recording everything and give them the notes when they wake up. You could sleep in class. You see what I just said? You could sleep in class and still not miss anything. That's real. AI lesson planners, excuse me, are the new teacher's aide. They generate the quizzes. They track student patterns and their academic behavior. What took days to prepare is now done in minutes. Parents right now, from Bed-Stuy to Beverly Hills, are using AI tutors like Conmigo and ChatGPT for homework help. Parents who homeschool, watch how I flip this paradigm. Parents who homeschool or want to homeschool, don't know how to homeschool, but want to homeschool, can use AI to structure full curriculums, first grade through 12, for less than the price of a pair of Jordans. Testing companies, you got to take those SATs and LSATs, remember those things? Well, they're embedding AI to auto-score essays, predict outcomes, and serve up student dashboards. So the next time somebody says, AI in schools, that's a little bit, down the road. It's coming, but it's not there just yet. Let them know it's already checking student attendance right now. Right now. So that's what's happening. Right now. Next 3 to 5 years, let's zoom out. Next 3 to 5 years. Okay, picture this. Mastery-based learning gets real. Not every kid that's sitting in a classroom like it's 1995. Based on AI aptitude and application, one kid will graduate at the age of 15, and the next one will catch up at 18. Because literally, what can readily be taught after the age of 12 that AI doesn't have the answer to? A math equation? A historical fact to recall? Think about it for 2 seconds. Once we teach them sex education, once they learn how to add, subtract, divide, and multiply, once they learn how to spell, and they can spell 3-syllable words, what is it that AI knows that the teacher doesn't? Did I say that right? No, I said it wrong. What does the teacher know that AI doesn't know? What can a kid get at his fingertips and find out? Next 3 to 5 years, AI tutors will be available 24/7 for reading recovery, special needs, language barriers, at all hours. Can you imagine taking a Spanish class at 3 o'clock? And the girl that you like is cute and she speaks Spanish, and you are motivated to learn Spanish so quickly that you're using AI to give you educational classes on a consistent basis before you go back to class the next day, just because you want to learn it, because you want to meet that girl. Think about that for 2 seconds. That actually is now as well too. You can do that right now as well too. I literally did this, Goju Nation. I literally went into a bodega and pointed my phone at what I wanted to eat and asked AI, "What is that?" And I said, "Can you please repeat that in Spanish to the server and say I want a medium version of it?" And I literally just held up my phone and watched them tell me exactly what I wanted. And the woman just smiled at me because I made her life so much easier without having to do a communication barrier of what needs to be said. This is where we are today. Watch how many mixed marriages you are. You're gonna have people marrying each other from different countries because they have AI to translate. Oh boy, schools, back to education. Schools are gonna partner with AI to build micro schools. Picture this, Luigi. Less time at desks, less time in classrooms, more actual real world projects. We won't talk about animals, we'll just go to the zoo and have an AI exercise about the animals. We won't talk about chemistry, we'll actually just go to chemical labs and do AI, what's what I'm looking for? Aptitude tests and exams and questions with it right in front of you. Complete with pictures and examples and everything besides tangibility. Watch this one. Wealthy families are going to run these things called ed pods. What's that ed pod? Education pod. One teacher, 10 kids, all AI enhanced. Think about Wakanda meets Waldorf Astoria. Neighborhoods, they'll just get their kids together. Right? Neighbors will just get their kids together and say, we will homeschool them with AI support and not leave the block. And all our kids will learn the same thing at the same pace. And because of aptitude, they'll learn at their own pace. And if a kid is slow within that class, no problem. He comes home for the AI tutor once he leaves there. Now, this is where jobs come into play because that has to be sanctioned. That has to be qualified, has to be verified. I'm saying people have to be qualified to do this. You just can't have anybody doing this, right? Even when you want to homeschool, right, you have to certify to complete certain areas to be ratified that you're doing this. Okay. Here's what's also going to happen from a qualified standpoint. Colleges will offer AI-based micro degrees in things like solar, energy, coding, HVAC. No more 4-year depth traps for $40,000 a year jobs like accounting, because AI already does the math. Education is getting flipped, and same test, same pace, same time to start the class. It's all going away. That chapter's absolutely closed. That chapter's absolutely closing. Now we did 1 year, 3 years to 5 years. Here we go, Goju Nation. Let's get into the Q. And here's what's qualified, and let's call it in the air. For all the overworked teachers, AI is the new MVP. It grades, plans, personalizes, keeps receipts on every student. Now you got more time to teach and not just check boxes. So there's some value there, right? If you want to interact, right? Less admin stuff could be put on the AI so you can focus on the actual education with the actual students. Watch how this changes. For that urban public school student in the class with 35 kids and doesn't get enough attention, well, you have a lifeline, AI tutoring. Okay? And you know how, Luigi, you know how certain schools have these things called AP classes? You have to be of a certain you have to qualify to be in an AP class. Well, guess what you can learn from AI without even have to be told what an AP class is. Let's say you're a kid that loves dinosaurs and learns archaeology and is into stuff like that. Do you know how much information you could get beforehand before even saying I'm gonna go to school to learn archaeology? So you get there, well, I took AP classes. And doesn't make you special. So that evens the playing field a little bit for those who don't have access to certain education things that are, quote, highbrow, or you have to be you have to live in a certain area or have a certain amount of income. You have to be affluent to be able to go to this school. You can literally say this out loud if you have the right prompt. You can find out what the school is. And you can say, what are the AP classes that this school teaches? It will give you the list of the classes they teach. And you can say, I want to learn AP biology. Because I understand, based upon what you told me, that an AP biology credit gets me closer to getting into this school. So I want to learn it now. What's AI going to say? You haven't passed a certain educational place, we can't teach this to you? Give it to you in 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Oh, boy. AI delivers the calculus, the chemistry to allow the comprehension. No more are you viable. It evens the playing field amongst all candidates. But here's where the tension comes into play. Here's where it pinches. If a screen could teach the facts, the foundation of education, if the screen can teach the facts, what do we need the classroom for? I repeat, what do we need the classroom for? Every time I ask these questions, it's pseudo-rhetorical for you to take a step back and just listen to it and think about it for a second. Because once you really think about it, the answer is obvious. It just seems far-fetched that, wow, that really can't happen. No, and that can happen. I repeat, it is happening. If you can graduate high school utilizing these tools, why do we need 40-hour weeks in school with a brick building and metal detectors? Why do we need it? What happens when AI becomes the professor and college becomes optional? Because like I said, we have access to all the information. But here's what being qualified means, okay? Because summing it up kind of quickly before we get to the V. Facts are now free. Watch this. But grit, guidance, morals, education, and moral growth, that still has to come from people. Has to. A robot can't teach that. So those are the areas as a hint to where you may want to start thinking if you are a teacher's aide and they're telling you that we may not need you this year. Give you some areas we can get into. And that's the Q. That's what's qualified. Okay? Now here's the V, the V, the V, the V. Let's verify. Let's talk about impact. This is going to be painful. Let's talk about job fallout. First to disappear, the first job. I've said this before, Luigi, so I'm going to say it again. When the internet came into play, the industry that instantaneously disappeared, the second internet appeared, was encyclopedias. Okay? No longer necessary because we have the internet. So in that same quickness, what's the first thing to disappear in the educational world? Just like encyclopedias? Test, prep, tutors. Remember that? I'm going to prep your child to take this test. No longer necessary. Those people charge $60 plus an hour. Now for a 6-month subscription, you got it already in hand. No longer needed. I charge you to prep for the SAT, in-house. College boards, in-house. As long as you know how to prompt. The administration roles vanish. Teachers' aides that gather paperwork and take attendance, they schedule tests and exams, they plan trips. No longer necessary. No longer necessary. Okay. Here's a painful one. This one is people gonna say, nah, I'm telling you what's happening. Mid-tier colleges and university are going to disappear. Nobody's dropping $200K for a syllabus you can get for a chatbot. They're not doing it. They're not gonna do it. And not even they're not gonna do it. For those who can't afford it, they're gonna say, got an option. It's not even gonna be about what they can afford. It's about for what they can, what it presents an opportunity for them to do. Right? How many times have you had people say, well, if you can learn this and learn this, I can hire you. People gonna run and do that now. That's what's gonna happen. Take notice. It's gonna happen starting this year. Promise you. Remember I said this, Goju Nation. Remember I said this. Take notice of the college enrollment percentage numbers from this fall moving forward and watch how they subconsciously or consciously start to drop and dwindle. And the college say, well, there's not as many people enrolling in colleges before. We don't understand why. I'm telling you why. Because outside of sports and people-to-people engagement and skill sets and blue collar, why do I need a law degree from the University of Michigan? Why do I need an accounting degree from the University of Boston College? Why do I need a communications degree from St. John's University? Why? I'm not saying you don't get it. I'm asking, why do you need it? For the price it's going to cost you. AI is disrupting the educational hustle. Heard what I said? Educational hustle. And the educational economy. Nobody's saying it out loud. Professors who just read slides, got a bot to do that. Publishers charging $300 for a textbook or the software. AI updates in real time. That knowledge is now live. No ISBN required. Here's the scariest part, though. There's a flip side. Okay? Low-income communities that rely on school for hot meals, feed their kids when they go to school. Therapy services. The kids have, issues, mental, family issues, right? Drama, stress, trauma, right? Those psychological services that schools pay for, that they have there, those are all going to suffer. How about the safe space at 3 o'clock after school programs? Where are these kids going if the schools are not there to be the house for such? Maybe that may be a window of opportunity where it becomes, again, remember, we had education at this level, and the service I just mentioned would be they would be the subsidy of such. Like, we teach your kids, which is the most important, and we have this. Maybe that swaps. Okay? Maybe there's more physical education, so your kids are healthy. Right? Maybe there's more moral conversations and more interaction, more case studies of people interacting with each other. Maybe there's more school dances. Right? Maybe there's more stuff so there's more human interaction than focusing on the education part, because you can kind of, crunch that a little bit. So here's what verify means. Okay? AI is here. The gaps are going to get wider, and they're going to be smarter. That is what's verified. And we cannot forget the C, the C, the C, the C. Here's what's certified. Here's the lick. Here's the comeback. Educators that treat AI like a cheat code will not last. But the ones who coach, inspire, and connect with the children, they'll become irreplaceable. Okay, I led you into that one. Okay? Here's what's next. It speaks to opportunities. Okay? We know what's going to be lost. Here's what we can gain. AI literacy becomes part of the curriculum, not optional. So we embrace the fact that kids learn more faster and they can graduate at earlier ages. We don't sit back and say, no, they have to be in school until the age of 12th grade. No, recognize that's changing. Okay? Embrace it and utilize the tools that are in front of us to make that happen. Okay? New jobs emerge. Okay? I was saying earlier today that when planes and cars came about, we got a little bit out of the fields. We stopped plowing fields. Okay? Plus automation came into play too, where machines could plow the field. So we learned how to fix cars. We learned HVAC. We learned how to fly airplanes. We learned different industries rather than saying there's no jobs. So here's some new jobs that's going to emerge. Okay? AI prompt mentors, specific for industry. Because I'm 1,000% sure if a person wants to open an accounting firm compared to one that wants to open a podcast center, it's different prompts to guide you in the proper direction to maximize those opportunities. So that's going to be a field that's going to emerge. Yeah? I mentioned this before, human skill coaches. They'll become important. Blue collar and person-to-person jobs that people are not getting paid enough for, they're going to get paid more because it's going to have more value to what it represents. So being a human skill coach will be there. Psychologists, psychiatrists, they'll be there, okay? Community learning leaders. Again, people to people, okay? Those jobs or those positions will be very relevant. They'll count moving forward. And the glow up is going to be with trade schools, okay? AI is going to have let me say it differently. Universities are going to prioritize having electrical degrees, plumbing degrees. Those are going to be degrees in universities. HVAC degrees. No more certifications, degrees. And then you're going to be able to say, I got my degree in plumbing from the University of Michigan. That's what they're going to be using that for, because that's hands-on, that's people to people. Nah, to get a boiler, to learn how to fix boilers. It's going to be a degree. You wait till Harvard does that. Watch how the world thinks the world is different. It's going to be called normal. And that means that the kids are going to be doing more hands-on, because not everybody is, their aptitude to learn AI is no different than the aptitude to learn how to do plumbing or have electrician hands. It's a different type of skill set. So blue collar is going to look more like white collar. You like this one, Luigi? More like Carolina blue collar. It won't be so blue collar, like Carolina blue. Okay, and it'll get us love that one. Real work, real skills. Real work, real skills, a bigger bag. Okay, There'll be more salaries than per hour with these things. It'll come into play. And it will just define the paradigm shift and what perception of a good education is. Okay? Having a plumbing degree will be perceived as good as having a law degree because of how you're able to deal with certain things. So maybe the next valedictorian isn't the kid with a 4.0 GPA. It's probably the one who mentors others, builds their own AI prompts, and starts a local business at the age of 17. Because we'll be utilizing its resources. So this is what being certified means. The future classroom might look more like a barbershop, a kitchen, a coding lab, maybe even a job site, but not a classroom. But the lesson will still land. That's what's certified. Here's my tally take. We used to think that school was about facts, but the facts are free now. Google got them. ChatGPT got them. Siri's learning the process in real time. So now, wisdom is the flex. Empathy is the edge. And the connection, people to people, is what currency will represent. How you interact people, how you feel about them, how they make you feel, what you do with them. That's going to be currency. It's going to be a value within that. We need to raise our young people to ask the questions AI can't answer. Okay, the 4-year-olds are real good. The 2 to 4 is real good with that. Like, where do the ducks go when it starts raining, Dad? AI has to answer that question. That's the good one. That's the good stuff. All right. We have to learn to read the moment that no algorithm can predict. So, for example, what's the emotional and mental aspect of how a smarter child will affect the household when the kid knows as much as you did when you were older? That's an emotional, mental thing. There's no algorithm for that, but that's something that needs to be prepared because the kid, remember this phrase, the kid's too smart for his own good? Well, guess what? They're getting smarter now. So now what are you going to do with that? And they'll be right. And they'll be able to show you that they're right. So now what? They won't be guessing. Man, you got to teach tangible hands-on skills. Okay? Your kid doesn't know how to fish, teach him how to fish. Kid doesn't know how to hunt, teach him how to go out in the world and know how to do some things. Okay? Give them tangible skills outside of the iPhone. So they can learn some things because while they're adapting to upscale technology, people-to-people engagement and people-to-people skills will still be very, very valuable. It's time to be the teacher and the student in the same breath. Because Goju Nation, the smartest person in the room might not have a degree. They might not have the answer, but I promise you this. They'll know how to prompt it. That is AI and its societal impact on education. You need to just listen carefully. This is not me trying to podcast for followers and subscribers. This is me trying to inform you, like, this is what's actually happening. And if you're too busy scrolling on your phone to not pay attention to what's happening and not implementing these, you're going to wake up one day and say, I don't understand why or what happened. And it's very much real. You just have to very much pay attention and recognize this is what's happening in real time. Okay? And I don't know where these jobs are coming from. I don't know. Okay? I just know these jobs are going to be going away. I just know that universities are going to be crying in a minute saying, I don't understand how we don't have as many kids coming to school. So, we'll see. Maybe they should teach some different things that schools don't teach. Maybe they should teach banking. Because what university teaches banking? Teaches finance. They teach you banking? Maybe they should start teaching credit. Because that's real life stuff that people need to understand, but we don't teach them credit. Just throwing some things out there. I am Tally. This is Industry Rule number 4080, powered by GothamJungle. Tap in Goju Nation, Facebook, the Gram, X, Threads, YouTube. At GothamJungle, one word, at GothamJungle. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. And become an official member of Goju Nation. Don't forget to join our newsletter by sending us your email address and dropping that as well. I want to thank my alien, Miss Rashida, Pop Grizz, Kenneth, Miss Gemma, and the Grand Architect of the Universe. And always remember, light and darkness cannot coexist at the same time. So Luigi, what we gotta do? Follow the light. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. You are appreciated and respected. Thank you.
Industry rule number 4080. Industry rule number 4080.